Hello, Liz here. So today, as promised, we're going to make something similar to this. And what I have is a metal tray, and I got 3 in a package from my local, it was Texas thrift shop, something like that. And I paid less than $1 each. I think you can also get these at the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure. I know they had other sizes. I don't know if they had the rounds or other shapes. I don't know if they have the rounds or not. So anyway, these beads are halite beads. They're natural beads. I got these from Fire Mountain Gems. And then I painted with some chalkboard paint that my daughter had given me. I'd never used it before, so I tried it with this. It turned out pretty good. And then I used some white ink. Now, if I had white chalk paste, I would have used that. And then the ribbons are just ribbons that I had. You can use scrap ribbon. And then I put a little hanger on it with the halite beads also. But today, we are going to use our tray, just like that one. And the first thing you want to do is clean it off. So I have just a little alcohol pad, and I'm just going to go around the edges, and then I'm going to go and clean up the inside. So I wiped it down with my alcohol pad, and then there's a little, I don't know if you can see it, a little stain or rust or whatever there. I'm going to mark that with an X because that's what I want to be on top, and I am going to put my bow there. Sometimes it's a little hard to see, so got my X there so I'll know where it is. And then I'm going to use just some acrylic paint. This is some old stuff, and actually this is Folk Art Mystic Green. So I'm going to shake it up pretty good and then pour some in my little tray here. And then I bought these brushes here. Hi Erica, hi Dave. And I got these at the Dollar Tree. And I really like this one to use on this kind of project. This one here I use for like touch-ups. So I'm just going to take my green paint and I'm going to paint just the inside circle. And then I'll take my heat gun and I'll dry it. And we're probably going to put 2, maybe 3 coats on here. And again, this is just some acrylic paint. So we got this at Harbor Freight, and it has 2 settings on it. We're going to use the lower setting. And you got to kind of watch it because this tray is metal. It does heat up. And you want to move it around. You don't want to stay in one spot very long because I've been told it'll bubble up the paint, and you don't want that to happen. Let's see. Oh, it's dry. So now we can go on with the next coat. And I need a little bit more paint here. There was a blob. This is really old paint, but apparently it lasts a long time. Okay, so I'm just going to give it another coat, and I'm just going around. I think it's a really pretty color. Again, it's Mystic Green. And then if we get See where we have it here? We could take our alcohol pad and wipe that off. And we'll do that once we have all of our coats on and they're dry. Okay, here's what we have. And I'm going to just dry this off with the lower setting with the heat gun. Like I said, you want to keep it moving around. You don't want to stay in one spot too long. And it does heat up this metal, so you need to be careful. It's getting hot, so let's see. See one spot that's, I got a little thick. Okay, so I'm going to take an alcohol pad. I'm just going to go around the edges. And we're only going to give it 2 coats because that looks pretty good. So, and it's you're kind of scraping it off too with your fingernail on the pad. So I'm just getting it off towards the edges there. Now we're putting beads around there, so you don't need to worry too much, but if you have higher spots, you should get those off. You might actually be able to do it with just your fingernail. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm just scraping this excess off here with my fingernail. Now I see I scraped it a little bit there, so I'm just going to touch that up a little bit. And then this over here, although the beads would probably cover this, but that's where your little brush comes in handy. Okay, let me just dry this a little bit. There we have it. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to add our beads, and the beads I'm going to be using are these glass beads, and they're just a cherry color. They call them cherry glass beads, and I got these at Fire Mountain Gems. And they're already on a string, so all I'm going to do is cut the ends of the string off. It's not a string, it's plastic. And then I'm going to put a little hot glue on the end just to make sure it doesn't come undone. A little hot glue on the ends. And since the top part's going to be covered by a big bow, I'm going to start at the top. And I'm just going to put hot glue, a little strip, and then add my beads. take your strings off as you go along. So again, I'm just putting a small strip, and then I'm pushing my beads down on it, like that. I like green and pink together, but you can use whatever colors you like. And you got to kind of work with the glue and the beads and the tray, because sometimes it doesn't want to stick too well. So I'm not sure what the issue is, if it's the glue on the paint or what it is. Or maybe it's the glass. But this seems to be working pretty well. Now it's time for a new glue stick. It seems to work a little better if you put your glue more on the silver part of the tray, so that you're gluing up in here instead of versus down here on the green. Okay, so we got one strand on there, and now we only need this much right here. So we don't need the whole thing. Figure out how much we need here, and you don't want to overlap the beads, so we need this much right here. So I'm going to cut back in here, so I'll have enough to tie a knot in. Okay, let's make sure. Okay, that looks good. So we have our knot down here that was already in it, and now we want to tie a little knot in this end. And try to get it as close to the beads as you can. And then I'm just going to put a little glue close to the bead here, between the bead and the knot, on that end, and again on this end. And then I'm going to trim off my ends. So this is what we have with all these glue strings. Okay. Now we're just going to take up where we left off. Okay, that part didn't want to stick. So let's try this again. And you do, when this happens, make sure you take the glue off, because otherwise it's going to stick up further than the other pieces, and you don't want that. So we're going to try this again. I had a hard time yesterday. I don't know what was going on. Looks like it's happening again today, but we can fix that. So let's get the dryer out here. Let's put a little more on there. Okay. So we're going to heat this up. We'll try this. Doesn't want to cooperate. Maybe it'll make this glue so it'll stick again. Ooh, look at that. Yay. Heat that up enough. Okay, so let's continue. Come on, work with me here. Okay, looks good. It's looking good. A little more. We're almost done. Just got this a little bit right here. All right. And there we go. So, remember we marked our X where that rust was, so that's where we're going to put the bow. Okay, this looks pretty good. We have our full coverage green on there, and now we're going to do our stencil. So, the stencil I picked out today, and I think I'm going to, this is loose right here, so you want to look and see if any of your beads are loose. And then glue them on there. See, we got a few loose ones here. Some here. This is going to be pretty good. Okay, so I decided on Sundays I would start using a Maker Studio stencils. They're more, they have verses, Bible verses. So I chose this one here, Let Go and Let God. And then the one on our tray that I did last night is Commit Your Work to the Lord, Proverbs 16:3. I guess this one isn't really a Bible verse, but it's something that we all need to do. Let go and let God. Okay, we got a couple more loose ones here. All right, I think that's it. Okay, so these do not need to be fuzzed. They're not as sticky. So I'm just going to take it off there. You use it the same way, and since we're going to put a big bow up here, I'm going to put it more towards the bottom than the top. And you can see that it doesn't want to stick as well, but as long as you have it down there smooth, it should be okay. So we're going to use our Magnolia Design Company Sugar Plum, which is a bright pink color. And if you want to check this out, you can go to lizyankee.magnoliadesignco.com. And there's stencils there, and there's chalk paste, there's inks, just whatever you need to do your stenciling. So I have my squeegee, which I also got from Magnolia Design. And you want this to be the consistency of yogurt. And so I'm just going to dip it in there. Got a little bit on there. And then I'm just putting it on my stencil like this. So I'm just dipping it and then putting it on my stencil. And you want to clean your stencils right away. The big reveal. Oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's really pretty. So I'm going to put this face down in a little bit of water, and then I'll clean it off when I'm done here. So the best way to clean them is to take them to your kitchen sink, use your sprayer, and then just use your finger and rub it off. The chalk paste comes off really easily. It's the inks that are a little bit harder to to get off your silk your was it silk screen? Mesh, your mesh stencil. But if you take care of them, you can use them over and over. Now you see we have a lot of glue here, but I don't think that's going to matter because we're going to put our bow there. So I'm going to set this aside to dry while we work on our bow. Put this in the water. I did not need to spray water in my chalk paste as it was already nice and creamy. But when they start to dry out, you do need to put some spritz of water, and that's distilled water. Okay, so now we're going to make a bow, and I just have these pieces of ribbon, and you'll probably want to get about, let me see, I think I did 7 inches on the other one. Yeah, so I'm going to do at least 2 of each type ribbon. I might do more later, but for now, that's what I'm going to do. And like I said, I'm doing 7 inches. Let me cut this piece off. And I just picked out some ribbon that had greens and pinks. So like this one here isn't very long, so I'm just going to cut it in half. And the good thing about this type of it's not really a bow, it's well, I guess it kind of, well, it's not a bow, but whatever it is, you can use pieces. And just cut several different ones from different ribbons. Just whatever you have that you think is going to go with your plate. Thought these would go nicely. Okay, what is this one? And this one, since it's like that, I'm going to cut this piece off right there. Some people call these messy bows. Taking some like clearish ribbon. You can use wired ribbon or ribbon that doesn't have wire in it. It really doesn't matter, just whatever you have. You just want to use several pieces, several different ones. Get off glue stick. So again, I have another short one. I'm just going to cut it in half. See, I have this pink here. And then this one here, I'm going to do 4 of it because it has this one side and this on the other side. So I'm going to do 2 of each. Few more to go here. Let's see, I haven't done this one yet. Okay, we got that. Did I do a white one? Let's do a white one. This one, I already did this one and this one. So, and I have these two pieces. This one is short and that one's longer, but it should be okay. And then I want to do this. So let's get this here done. Okay, if I could get into it. Guess it's adult proof. Come on. There we go. And this is just ribbon that I've collected over the years, so you can just use whatever you have on hand. It doesn't look like there's very much of this. Now, why does it have all this? Oh, it's tape. Okay. Alright. Come on off of there. This was probably in a kit or something. Maybe a scrapbooking kit. I don't know. As you can see, that's all that was on the whole thing. That's crazy, huh? Oh yeah, scrapbooking. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut this one in half. And then I have this here. So it's doubled over. I'm just gonna do it like that. So I'll cut two there. I'll make sure I cut this loop, and then is there another loop? Maybe this loop? No, no more loops. Okay. So we have it all done. Hopefully it didn't get in my paint. Let's move this over here. And then I dropped some of my ribbon. Alright. Whatever. So I'm going to start with the bigger pieces first. And then you're just going to make an X. And then I have a piece of just wire that I'm going to use, but you can use pipe cleaners. You can use, let's see, what did I do? Twist ties. Some people use those, what are they called? The plastic ones that you tighten up. I forget what they're called. Okay, so I'm just layering these on top of each other, 2 by 2. And it doesn't really matter what order you go in. Okay, where's my other green one? Where are you? Here we go. This is a really easy, little messy bow, I guess you could say, although it's not really a bow. But it's really cute. And it's real easy to make. So again, I'm just layering each one over top the other. And we're going to be trimming it up in a little bit. Okay, where's my other brown one? Oh, here it is. And then since I did it this way, I'm going to do this one this way. And I'm going to do this one. I like that one. I think that's cute. And this one. And then I'm going to do this one and this one. And then I think I'll do this. Okay, I guess I'll have to hold this down now. And that one. And then I'm going to do this one. And this one. Okay, we're almost done. I'm going to do this green one. Okay, let's get you one there. And I'm going to do the white one. And then I'm going to do my fuzzy one last. If I can keep these together. Okay, that one there. And this one here. Here we go. So then I'm going to take my wire. And I'm going to lay it on top there. And then I'm going to pick all of this up. And squish it in the middle. And then I'm going to twist my wire I have it. Okay, where's the end? Have it right there, squished up, and then I'm just going to start turning it. And to help me do the wire, but like I said, you can use twist ties, you can use those plastic things that lock, just whatever you have. Now, I'm going to use this to help me get this tight. Hopefully I'm turning it the right way. I don't know. I don't know. Is this going the right way? Oh yeah. Hope I don't break it. Or did I break it? I think I broke it. Yep, sure did. Okay, let me try that again. Oh, it's not nice. Not nice to me. Alright, try this again, y'all. So I just have it all here in the middle. And we're going to try this again. I guess I twisted it too much. So those plastic ties, they're really good. I don't have any. Okay, so I got that twisted on there, and then I'm just going to cut the ends of the wire off. And then I'm going to lay this twisted end down. Okay, so this is what we have right now, and we need to kind of turn it to where our pieces are face up if some of them have turned the wrong way. And then I like these to kind of hang down, so let's put this one over here. And then what we're going to do is the ends, we're going to take them, you fold them this way in half, and then you just cut it right there, and then it makes this right here. So we're going to do that with each piece. And you could put a couple of them together and do it. You don't have to do each one separately. Some of them you might want to just do diagonally if they're skinnier ones. So some of them are going to be longer, so you can shorten them up. So that's all we're doing. Okay, let's see how many we got left. Smaller ones I'm just doing diagonally. Okay, got a few more here. see if we got them all. Oh, no, we got one here. Got one here. Of course, this takes a little time. Okay, looks like we got all of them on this side. So now we're just gonna, well, no, we don't either. Got these and this one here. Okay. Oh, and this one. All right. Now we gotta do this side. It is a little time consuming, but it turns out pretty. I'm going to do 3 of these at a time. Hopefully it'll work out. Oh, worked good. Do these 3. See, we're getting there. Just do these on the diagonal. Do these 2 together. And when you cut it, you want to cut it this way on with your ends over here and your folded piece there. Just a couple more, I think, and then we'll be done. Okay, so a couple is a relative term. Okay, this one I think is a little too long, so let's trim it down a bit. Okay, let's see if we got them all. We got one here. This one. Okay, let's see. Oh, we didn't get this one. Okay, is that it? Looks like that might be it. Oh. Okay, so you're just gonna like kind of fluff it out a little bit. I think maybe this white one might be a little too long. And then I have our fluff hanging down here like this. Fluff it, fluff it, fluff it. And then I'm going to glue it right on our X there. And you know what? It looks like some of this bead still doesn't want to stick. I'm kind of stubborn. Let's see if I can get this. I should have just heated it up. Did it that way, but would have been a smart thing to do. Okay, let me try this again. Alright. Get the strings off. Okay. So we have our bow here, and I'm just going to glue, hot glue on the back. This is what we have. And I'm going to put it right on our X, right there. I'm going to put a pretty good amount there. And then I'm just going to hold it a little bit. But you want to hold it off to the side because the back of that is hot. You know, I think what I want to do, since this is hanging down into my letters, I think I'm going to trim that off a little bit. Okay, that looks a little better. So then I was thinking, what do you think? This button? Or this button? I'm thinking maybe this pink one here. So I put a good amount of glue right underneath the button on the ribbons, and then I put them right there. And now we need to do our hanger to put right here. So we're going to use these beads again. Got a real big mess here. Okay, so this is what we had left over from the other round of beads. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tie this end here in a knot. And then I'm going to put some glue between it and the bead on both ends. Just a little extra security there. And we're going to leave the strings on this. I don't want that to have spaces in there, so we'll let this dry for a few minutes. So this is what we have so far, and we're going to put our hanger right here. So on the back here, we're going to take our strand like this. We could actually tie it, see if that'll work. Okay. So I tied it in a little knot, the ends here. And then I'm just going to put it right there in the middle where our button is, right there. And I'm going to have two of the beads here on the middle, and then the string down here. So, I'm going to put my plastic here. So I put some glue there, and then I just put that piece of plastic that the beads are strung on right there. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Let me cut it down a little bit. And then I'm just going to put some glue on the back of these two beads and these two beads, so they'll, well, actually, probably the three beads. I'm just going to put it right on the beads themselves, and then I'm going to press them down. Do the same thing to the other side. Uh-oh, my one side came loose, so let's try that again. And this side came loose. Come on now, we need to stick. Having a hard time here. And then I'm just going to take a piece of blue jean material that I cut. And this is just a little more reinforcement. I'm going to put it here. So I'm going to put glue all over the inside of this piece of blue jean. Put it right over top of that. Just like that. And then you want to make sure you get all your glue strings off. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I'm going to take another one of these alcohol pads, and I'm just going to go around the edges, and it'll kind of clean up any glue or smudging you might have. Okay, and this is what we have. What do you think? Which one do you like better? This one or this one? This one or this one? You could put green in the comments if you like the green one, or you could put black in the comments if you like the black one. Alright, well, this is it for today, and I'll see you back again tomorrow with another craft. Not exactly sure what it's going to be, but I'll post something later in the day letting you know before tomorrow. So until then, bye.